My first question to you is, how did you get into this field and at what age?
Okay, so when I started into cybersecurity, I was nearly 13 years of age. So I was doing a sort of freelancing work at that point of time into blogging. So I was sort of exploring different things, whether it's graphic designing, whether it's VFX, whether it's game designing with Unreal Engines, or it's about blogging. I loved it because it was having a sorts of a good passive income as well. Secondly, it was just giving me up an idea of different various fields because whenever you write on something, you try to research on it, right? So certainly when I was writing on AI, I was writing on the geo networks at that point of time, nearly 5 years back. So cybersecurity excited me. I started more exploring about it, and slowly it just got up a sort of an habit to research more about it, and it's really great to be in cybersec.
Great, man. So my second question is, we live in a society where people consider this term hacker as someone who is a thief. So please, can you explain what does the term hacker means and how many types of hacker are there?
Okay, so if in case I categorize the hackers, right? So there can be three different main categories of hackers. The first one is black hat, which is exactly what you guys consider that they are the sort of cheat guys, right? Because they have all the sort of works which are illegal or the dark works, right? They have been performing it live on various websites without making them aware about it. They have been stealing credit cards of different people. They are into only of the process where they can use their skills as a bad weapon, right? The second phase of hackers is a white hat hacker, which is completely working for government purposes. So if in case, suppose if in case you must have heard about that Russia attacked on US, right? The Russian hackers attacked on US, and they revealed some of the private information which was important for Russia to know about it, right? So when you work for your nation and you do a sort of an offensive work, it can be considered as a white hat work. And the next field is gray hat. So gray hat is a sort of guy which lies in within these two boundaries, the black hat and the white hat. Suppose I ask you that, Jimil, can I hack your phone? And if you say yes, right, then I will be performing it, and that's where the gray hat hacker begins. So gray hat is all about asking for a permission and then working on it, but you don't have any sort of legal prospect to work on it, or you don't have a legal authority to hack on any of the phone.
Okay, man. Okay. According to you, what is the future of hackers in India?
There is no future of hackers in India. There are various people who are skilled, so there is only the future of skills, right? So hackers are generally having up a great, see, I'm a sort of guy who belongs from cyber security. I'm not a hacker, right? So I understand different terms in hacking. I know how to hack, but it doesn't mean that I have been practicing hacking. I have been working in the field of cybersecurity, and if you ask me about that field in the terms of its future, so it is having really a great wide future in India, because now almost each and other company has been working on online products, right? And each and everyone is coming online. Either it's via we guys have been recording a podcast, or we guys have been doing a video conferencing call. Everything is connected to internet, and thus it requires a sort of an secrecy, right? It requires confidentiality, and companies know that, because recently Domino's got attacked, GoDaddy hacked, an academy got hacked, right? So all these sort of the hacks which these companies have been bearing make their reputation down, right? People don't trust them easily because it seems like an academy or Domino's are not concerned about their users database, right? So that's why they just got leaked. Otherwise they could have implemented security. That's why in India cybersecurity is having up a great scope in the nearer future.
For our listeners, can you please justify or elaborate what is the term cybersecurity means and what is the main work of cybersecurity?
Okay, it's simple. See, so guys, the cyber security is all about just securing from that offensive hacking word, right? So when we talk about hacking, it's just about offensiveness. Like I have been hacking in Jimil's phone, right? But if in case Jimil is a cyber security guy, and then he knows that how to protect himself, right, from any sort of an hack. So cyber security is all just about defending yourself, defending others from these offensive terms of hacking and all, right? So yeah, cybersecurity can be on the personal level as well. Cybersecurity can be on corporate level as well. Cybersecurity can be on national level as well. So it depends upon different areas of interest in whichsoever you are participating.
So currently, like most of the parents are like, let's make our children doctors or engineers. So will there be a time then parents will be like, let's make our children cyber security? Let's get into this field.
Okay, see, so Jamil, the point is cybersecurity is just a part of computer science engineering, right? So I don't recommend that there will be any sort of an BTech for cybersecurity that I want my child to be one of the cybersecurity guy. No, it will not happen like that. The point is that you should be a sort of computer science engineer. You must have completed your CSE and all. Then while moving into that field, there are different opportunities come along the way in the terms of cybersecurity. Explore them, and if in case it interests you, it is a sort of a field which is of your interest, then it's definitely fine. And I consider that people will be more concerned about their data within next 2 to 3 decades, like the 20 to 30 years it will take.
Acha, what was your purpose behind virtual cyber labs? And for our users, please tell them or advertise what's virtual cyber lab.
Okay, so guys, the virtual cyber labs is an edtech platform, right? So what we have done in India, the major issue is finances, right? Like cyber security is one of an expensive field. It is a sort of an field where people usually try to invest lakhs of money, and if in case they are not capable, they lose all of it. So what we have been focusing on is we have been delivering some practical approach courses, which are divided into certain categories for beginners, for entrepreneurs, or for business owners, and the third one is for private investigators, the people who have been looking for understanding cyber crimes in India, right? So then we have been giving them a complete corporate environment by placing them in certain companies, by giving them internship opportunities, right? And to work with on some great life projects, right? So like implementing firewall, honeypot setups and all, right? So there have been different areas in cybersecurity, but we guys have been covering at VCL, completely practical. And the complete vision to launch VCL is to make sure that cybersecurity education in India gets effective with an affordable price.
Yeah. So it's a kind of a platform of teaching cyber security.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. So in this journey, what are the major lessons which you learned?
So I would talk about the journey of entrepreneurship, not cybersecurity. Right. So if I talk about in the general sense of the complete journey, there are 2 to 3 different things which I have observed so far. If in case the audience is teens, right? Like when I started at my early age. So the point is that of course a typical Indian mindset is all about making their child engineer and doctor, right? So if in case you want your parents to support you for cybersecurity or for any sort of thing which is from your interest and which is not lying into their interest, then you need to prove yourself initially. Let them know that this is having a wider opportunity. Let them know that I am the one who can reformalize, or I can be the one who can be really great in this field, right? Probably they will be finding a good way for your support, right? Secondly, the major important factor is hiring or finding up a good team, right? So there have been a lot of challenges which comes along the way when you work with people. So you can't trust them easily. Neither I prefer anyone to just have a look on their resume and select them for to work with you. Have a look with them, have a look on their resume, of course, for sure, at an initial level. Have a great collaboration with them on certain projects. If everything goes fine, directly jump with any sort of project, and if that goes well together, then start getting them into your team.
Okay. So this is the lesson. Acha, what are your views on the so-called term social media influencer?
Okay, so social media influencer is a sort of a field which you can consider is overtaking Bollywood of India, right? So it's just like that. Like as of now, till date, only the movie stars are getting that fame, right? Then when they are walking, they have been different bouncers coming along their way, right? Clearing their way out. There is a sort of a complete crowd of nearly over 1,000 of people. But now, when we talk about social media influencers, there have been YouTubers, Ashish Chanchalani, BBK Vyas, Carrie Minati, Amit Bana, all of these people who have been rising, right? So social media influencing doesn't only mean that you need to be motivational or inspirational. That is anyhow not related to that. It's just about if in case people loves you, people loves your work, they will listen to you. And if you can even make an impact in any of the single life, you are a social media influencer. It's simple.
How can one grow on social media? Some key points.
Well, uh, well, I have been stuck on 3,000 followers since almost like last 2 to 3 months, right? So I am not sure about the growth factor over Instagram or over any of the social media. It's just like be consistent with your work. I can only say that, right? I don't usually reveal any other things which we work on till I get a surety that it will be making an impact on social media, and that's why I'm not a great fan of it. I love doing work, and once it's completed, then you can share it over your social media handles, and it can be then fruitful for you.
So, what are your views on artificial intelligence?
Yeah, I'm not a right person to ask about this question, Jamil, if I honestly tell you, because AI is something which is completely a mathematical, a mathematical subject which I consider it to be, like strictly personal opinions, because AI is something which requires a great computer knowledge as well, not only a normal computer knowledge, but you need to be specialist in any of the 2 to 3 different programming languages, right? And then you need to make sure that whatsoever you have been doing is not just for yourself. Or see, AI is not having a sort of a beginner career level prospect. Like suppose if I give two, there are two persons, right? And if one of them takes graphic designing as one of their option or one of their interest, and the other guy takes AI as an option, right, to study, the one who have been taking graphic designing possibly will be getting a 40 lakh per annum package maximum. I'm talking about Adobe, Flipkart, Amazon, like companies who have been hiring graphic designer to make their product good, right, showcasing themselves as good. So they will be instantly hired depending upon their skill set. But AI requires time. AI requires practice. You before you can train robot, you need to train yourself to train them, right? So it requires time, but it's for surety that once you accomplish that level, right, it could have probably taken 2 to 3 times much more than that what the graphic designer could have achieved, right? But once the time period has gone, then it's easy. It's a way too more expensive for you then to get established into AI. You will be definitely easily cracking a 1.5 crore to 2 crore package per annum.
So, according to you, should cybersecurity as well as AI should be introduced to schools at secondary or higher secondary level or not?
Okay, so AI has already been introduced in schools, right? CBSE has already been working on implementing AI
Yeah.
since 2019, so it's already there. But if I talk about cybersecurity, it's one of the subject which needs to be there. Definitely, there are different chapters in CS book, of course, which states like online safety, or which tells you about plagiarism. All and all, they are basics, if I honestly tell you. But it's like I prefer that there should be any sort of book specifically for cybersecurity to be introduced in 11th class, right? Because 11th is a sort of age, nearly 16, 17, when a guy is really capable enough to understand what he needs to do further. And if he has been explored with different variety of options, right, like there is an AI scope, there is an cybersecurity scope, then there are some freelancing scopes, then he can make up the mind in the next 2 years, and it's good. Because I have seen people who have been, I have various of friends, I don't name them, but they have been just like hardcore practitioners for cracking IITs, right? But the point is, when I ask them that what's your interest even in IIT, कि भाई अगर निकाल भी लिया, then what will be that particular field which you want to get in? So they say, dude, it's IIT, every field is equal over there. It's not like that. They have been just cracking it for the sake, for the sort of an ego satisfaction, but that doesn't work like the way. Because if in case you have not figured out your interest by the time of 16, 17, it's for guarantee that you will be just an employee for a longer run.
Okay. As you said that you have already done freelancing and all, so what did you learn, or what are the major lessons which you learned from freelancing, and what a teenager should keep in mind while doing freelancing?
Freelancing requires patience. Freelancing has taught me patience. Like so, it has taught me about negotiating with clients, which is important. right? So when we talk about freelancing, it is having a wider scope in the terms of building your skill set, right? Suppose if there is a guy who has just started learning about Canva or Adobe Photoshop, right? It's quite not obvious that as soon as he has created only a single slide, he will be coming up like, I have been now starting a company and I will make projects for you. No, of course not. He should have started as a freelancing to test his skills, to work with clients, to understand the corporate environment. And if he feels that graphic designing is something which is exciting for him, then he can probably think for creating a complete digital agency or a digital company, right? So it's just about a sort of giving you a beginner corporate experience.
Most of the freelancers have this one problem that they don't get clients, they are not getting paid. So, any specific tips to get clients or to attract clients?
See, what I have seen most of the time, na freelancers have been mostly focused on creating their own personal brand value. That the more famous I am, the more work will I get. It doesn't work like the way. You should have more skills. I have seen people who, in the name of just social media influencing, they do any random shit on Instagram, right? They just like open their reels and they have been just creating it randomly, whatsoever have been coming in their mind, and they call themselves as freelancers and they are generating money. But the point is that it's not like that way. uh, you should have a greater skill set which can be developed with time. It's of no stress. Like it doesn't have much stress. You can develop a skill set and then you can proceed with freelancing.
Amen. So, what are some of the tips which you would like to give to a teenager nearly around 14 to 16 years of age, figuring out their life?
Just have fun, right? Like by the time you turn 16, you can have fun. Honestly, I regret that I have not made a lot of fun in school, right? So the school life is really great, honestly, right? Although I have not been yet admitted into any sort of college, but definitely I can still feel that the school life is really great. Have friends, definitely go out with them, hang out. But when it comes to professional level, or when if in case you are really concerned about making your life contributable for the society, right? See, there are two different people even in cybersecurity. The one who enters into this field with a motive that cybersecurity has a very wide career prospect and I can make money into it. The first guy, right? The second guy is who is moreover a cybersecurity researcher, who keeps on researching something, who tries to develop or innovate something which can be fruitful for everyone, right? So be you need to specify by the time you turn 16, at least make sure that you know for what you are living for. Either it's money, either it's fame, either it's something, a contribution sort of feeling comes within, either it's nationalism. So if in case you are living for nationalism, go within army, serve for them, right? It doesn't mean that if in case you believe that you want to change the society, be an IAS. But the point is you need to be specific. Life is really short. If I honestly tell you, sometimes when I feel, although I'm very young to think of all of about these parts, right, and I am way too young to make any sort of a philosophical concept over here, but the point is, at least I have figured out that life is way too short. If in case you have been living it for others, and if in case you have been trying to contribute something, right? So that contribution even lasts long after you itself, right? So even if in case I die somewhere, suppose in my 70s, but if in case by that time I have developed nearly around, suppose 10 plus different technologies which are keep on changing the future generations, right? Which have been making their future more easy, then it's a great satisfaction, right? That you have already made a sort of an impact and people will be remembering you for a longer run.
Okay, man. So, what are your views on crypto?
Okay, so yeah, I've been just asking me about my views, but crypto is a sort of just an uh, I feel everything requires a research work, right? There is no sort of an come one come all sort of field, right? जहाँ पर सब भीड़ हो जाए. I have seen people investing in stocks. If there is another guy who is a great social media influencer, he says that this company stocks will be rising up. It usually rise up. Why? Because most of the people listen to him, put their money in stocks will be definitely rising up. Exactly what Elon Musk did, manipulated the market of crypto, right?
Yeah.
So if in case, see, crypto, people say crypto stocks, they are no, not stocks, but cryptos are decentralized, right? No one can control them. So the point is it's not true. The people who are having money, they can definitely control them. If there is a guy who invests almost all of his money into Bitcoin, right, nearly around suppose $1 trillion, every other guy who has put the money in Bitcoin will be making money from his money, right? But if he withdraws all his money from the Bitcoin, every other guy who has invested in Bitcoin will be having the same loss, right? So it's just about a sort of complete gambling, what I feel at this point of time. Crypto is a great asset for transactions. I feel like that way, right? So cryptos are good for transactions part. Like if I have been giving you some money, you can give me it back. It's fine. But if in case people feel crypto as a sort of an option to earn, it's not quite good.
So crypto can be used as tokens.
People have been using crypto as tokens, dude. Like international Indira Gandhi Airport, right? The IGI in New Delhi. They have already implemented crypto tokens machine where you can pay your tickets within cryptos or within Bitcoins, Ethereum. So people have been implementing it. It's of no big deal. Amazon.com, not .in, but Amazon.com has been accepting now Bitcoin payments as well, right? So people have been coming on cryptos and they realize its worth, because the point is it has nothing to deal with mediators, right? You must have listened that crypto is simply one-on-one transaction. It
Um,
doesn't require your money will be stored in bank, then your bank will be charging any sort of transactional fees. No,
transactions.
nothing like that. It's your money. It will be completely yours.
Okay. So
Yep.
what are the one or two mistakes which you did and wish you would have not done? It would have made you better if you didn't do
Trusting certainly some of the employees blindly, right? I did this mistake because I thought that they will be really great asset. That was a sort of a childish mistake, what I consider, but they like that have taught me a lot of things. So trusting them very easily was one of the mistake, which I again recommend that you should uh, work on a project initially. If everything goes fine, then only you should recruit them. The second mistake which I have done is, uh, it's not a quite big mistake. It's just like I have tried prioritizing different things, right? So initially I prioritized my social media content. I thought that social media influencing will be a greater asset for me to grow in cybersecurity, but that's not true. You need to be skilled in cybersecurity. Automatically you will be having a great social media following there. People loves your work. People definitely doesn't love the way you present it, or they doesn't love you. They only loves your work. You need to understand this, right? So until unless you are an actor, right? So now SRK is having its own fan following. The girls especially who have been dying on his face itself, on his dimple itself, right? So that's a sort of a beauty wala part, but it doesn't happen in our cases, of course. So the point being is you need to be skilled if in case you want an attention. And I am not an attention seeker guy, but I usually love to explore things more in a very deep way if I love something, right? So whenever I work on something, I try to make sure that I have been completely going thoroughly with it. There is nothing which is left in it.
that. Okay. The last question is, what is your success mantra?
Okay, so when it comes to my success mantra, dude, I'm not yet successful, so I can't comment on this. I can't comment on this basis. But there is one thing which I have been following, that make sure you enjoy the journey with failures, right? Because I have seen a lot of failures, and it's fine. They are not my mistakes. No, these are the failures. Sometimes it happens due to luck. Sometimes it happens due to some others' mistake. The people who commit mistakes in your team, but you need to bear that. You need to suffer from that. So it's a part of a journey, but it doesn't mean that any of the failures should stop you, right? Since the time being I have been running VCL, there are certain months when I have generated a revenue which is unexpected. That dude, I have been making tons of money. Then there are certainly some other months where I have not even generated a single penny. Right? So losses, profits are a part of businesses. Losses, profits are the part of life itself. You don't need to make sure that whenever you faces a loss, you just quit. It doesn't work that way. Because if in case you are trying to make yourself worthy for that field, the field will itself will be challenging you for making sure that you solve all these riddles in your way.
Okay, man. Thank you for coming and sharing such an enormous amount of knowledge. Thank
It
you.
was a pleasure, dude. Thank you so much.
Just wait a minute.